Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Joris here coming back at you with some winners bracket final action from EGL4's London. Spawning at the bottom left-hand corner of Shakuras Plateau, we have none other than 4Kings' DreAm spawning as the red Protoss. Subsequently, of course, after this tournament to be known as Dignitas DreAm. And in the top right corner of Shakuras Plateau, we have the blue Zerg, who we saw in the previous match demolish Dignitas Bling in two very, very good games, and sending him down into the lower bracket. We have spawning as our blue Zerg, the incredible Belgian Zerg, Lowland Lions, O'Reilly. Now, both these players incredibly talented. O'Reilly we don't really see much of in LAN tournaments throughout Europe these days, but he has played notably in a couple, and he's very, very strong. He's more than capable of winning tournaments. And he's perfectly capable of mixing it up there with the big boys. Meanwhile, DreAm, on the other hand, has, in the UK for university, hasn't participated in too many tournaments. In fact, I think EGL was his first offline LAN tournament, and he's just come incredibly far. He was worried about his match against Tandong Ho. He managed to win that, and his confidence just received such a massive boost. He's gone so far in this tournament, and whoever wins this series is now guaranteed a spot in the grand final of the event. So that's going to be absolutely huge. Both of these players done very, very well to get here so far. We do have the probe popping into the base of O'Reilly, who's decided to start his pool, I believe, on 12. And that's just going to allow him to get a couple of Zerglings up early, but he's not going to overproduce Zerglings to the point where it looks like he's doing some sort of early Zergling aggression or stuff like that. It's more just so he can get his expansion without being harassed by a probe, gain map control early, and generally be able to do whatever the heck he wants, because he just has map control that early into the game. So I'm liking this decision from him quite a lot. We do see a Forge Fast Expand going down for DreAm. He's now planting the cannon and the gateway, and presumably he's going to finish us off with either probably a pylon in such a small space, with a cybernetics core somewhere in the back. Oh, hang on a second. He cancels the gateway. It looks like he's electing to go for the expansion first. He may have made those in slightly the wrong order there. And there we go. A little bit of a boo-boo, but not a problem in the big scheme of things. We do have the Nexus now planted down for him. He's going to follow that up with the gateway again. The hatchery, in the meantime, does go down for O'Reilly. The probe, of course, popping up just to check the pool timing when he realized the hatch wasn't going down on 15. And as he popped up, the drone popped down to plant the hatch, so very, very nice. We're just sending a couple of Zerglings out now to double check that there aren't any forward pylons lying about, and also to establish map control and potentially just hold those watchtowers. Notice how only 2 Zerglings are being produced, no more are being produced. He doesn't need that many. He only needs enough to secure control of the map early, and he'll make more as and when necessary. Very, very nice move there from O'Reilly. Now we have got both gases being taken in the main base of DreAm now, as well as Chrono being on hold for a moment, ever so slightly supply blocked, but that immediately gets remedied by the presence of that pylon. We've got the gateway going down now, and I presume the cybernetics core will pop down somewhere around there next. Queen now at the natural, going to pop a creep tumor off before starting with those injects once again, and it looks like the second base is going to get properly saturated. He's saving up a little bit of money. I wonder if he's going for a straight third. I mean, now that the Zerglings are out on the map and are going to occupy the watchtowers so that Protoss doesn't have a clue what's going on. Yes, there we go. The third does go down. And of course, this Zergling just double checking that there aren't any probes anywhere around here, except, of course, ooh, he's actually going to walk past DreAm's probe there. So I wonder if DreAm's going to be able to scout this third and know exactly what's going on. Meanwhile, this Overlord ready to sacrifice itself at a moment's notice. There's a cybernetics core finishing up to see exactly what DreAm is going to be building. So more and more probes. Instead of transferring probes, he's electing to send them straight to the natural mineral line from both Nexi, so I like that decision. Some players like to do it, some players can't be bothered. It doesn't really matter. I suspect it doesn't make that big a difference at the end of the day. It's really down to personal style and preference. The probe is going to find out that there is a third base in the offing for Lowland Lions. Oh, really? And we do have +1 being started for the Protoss player as well, and a Roach Warren just goes down for O'Reilly. Morin just keeping those energies on the Queen nice and low, can't really complain. And meanwhile, we do have a little 2 Zealot pressure coming out from our Protoss, and it looks like a couple of Lings are going to be sent to investigate. We have got 8 Lings on the way. And this is exactly what I mean about those early spawning pools being able to just have 2 Lings out front, just to make sure that no pressure is going to come of anything, but also wanting to follow up with I'm only going to build Lings when I need them and not beforehand. So despite going for the early pull, it really is just to shut everything down and establish map control as opposed to anything else. In the middle of all that melee though, it looks like DreAm has snuck a probe into the 4th and has one still by this outward expansion towards the middle of the map as well. It looks like the Zergling is going to immediately spot the probe, unfortunately, and that's very, very good scouting from Orly there. DreAm is going to have to find another way of sneaking a proxy pylon somewhere on the south of the map. It's entirely possible that this probe might end up here at some point in the future, but it's going to be increasingly difficult to get anything past the front of that 3rd, so we may have to settle for putting something in the south of the map. In the meantime, we do have the Twilight Council going down for DreAm, and it looks like that's going to be going down in the main base along with another 3 gateways, so he's going to be up to 4 gate plus Twilight, and +1 is about to finish, so he might have a very strong timing attack here depending on what he wants to do. He's got 2 sentries there now at the moment, and a couple more being warped in, so he's quite serious about defending the front at the ramp. And in the meantime, a small Zergling expedition force is going to retake the middle of the map and just scout around for any additional probes. Back in the main base, nothing very much happening for DreAm. Everything's going on in the natural, a lot more units getting warped in, and you have got a couple of more zealots to pop out with the sentries as well, so electing not to really go very many stalkers at all. Currently the stalker count is 0, and I wonder if he's going to catch any more in the next couple of minutes of the game. A few Zerglings do get picked off instead of electing to do a run by, because obviously Metabolic Boost isn't done yet, but now it's done. So good timing there. Double Evolution Chambers are going to be researching those upgrades, and we do have Blink started. An interesting choice considering he currently has no stalkers, so I'm slightly perplexed. But we have got Blink started for DreAm, and it looks like he's going to go into power stalker production at some point in the very near future. He's not going to have terribly many though, because his entire army is currently sentries and zealots. The first 2 stalkers do pop up, just as I say that. But let's see how many he has by the time Blink finishes and whether he wants to use that as some sort of timing. Glial Reconstitution now going down for Roaches on Aurelie Cam, and we have also got 1-1 going down for him as well as the Spire being planted down. So we're getting pretty serious with our tech here. Spire, of course, not in the main. I wonder where it is. Is it at the 3rd? Is he hiding it? Or is it in the main and I'm just missing it? No, I can't actually see it there. I wonder where the... Where's the Spire being planted? And there it is. Sorry, behind the mineral line at the natural. So it looks like he might be transitioning into some sort of Musa play, but we're not 100% sure yet. I suspect he just wants to keep the option available. Blink now nearly done, as well as +2 weapons, which means that a potentially very strong timing from DreAm just coming up here. Those Stalkers and those Zealots are going to be able to do a massive amount of damage. He has a lot of energy on these sentries. He has 6 of them here. And warping stuff in at these forward pylons by the 4th base of Aurelie should be able to do a decent amount of damage. If Aurelie extends this creep tumor once more, he will be able to see that, but I'm pretty sure he suspects it since he just saw some stalkers popping up from the bottom there, and it looks like we're about to get our first engagement. Spinecrawlers and Roaches engaging this army at the south position, but unfortunately I just don't think the army size is big enough without force fields. We have got 4 force fields going off, completely stopping the Roaches from getting in. Unfortunately, it also stops anything from going out, and it looks like a lot of energy has been used to not deal very much damage in the Zerg army. Some Zerglings are just going to pop round, but unfortunately they're out of sync with the rest of the Roaches, so DreAm is going to be able to take this reasonably well. Roach is still sitting behind the 2 Spinecrawlers, waiting for the Protoss to do something, and here we go, the engagement has started, baits some of the Roaches forward, very nice force fields, cutting the Roaches in half, but a lot of Zerglings streaming in from the back, out of nowhere almost, and it's actually, oh dear, the Protoss army is being surrounded on all sides. The Protoss still doing a decent amount of damage to these Roaches, with some Blink Micro going down as well, but at the end of the day, there are too many Roaches, and it looks like Aurelie is going to be too strong for DreAm. Injected larvae off of 3 bases is just incredible, there's nothing we can say about it. And Aurelie biding his time and using that just very, very well. We've got a couple of cancelled warpins over there, because the pylons are down here, and it looks like this one Roach is going to be able to take the rest of it out, but not before these Stalkers do get warped in. So 1 warpin does get cancelled, and we do have another round of Stalkers versus Roaches action. Unfortunately, with these 2 Spinecrawlers there as well, I'm not really sure how well it's going to be able to work. Oh, a transfuse going off on one of the Roaches. The Lings going around back. There were no force fields this time to save the Stalkers, so it looks like these Lings are going to get a really nice surround. And unfortunately, it looks like DreAm is going to lose this battle. The remaining army from Aurelia is also going to be quite fearsome, so I wonder what DreAm is going to be able to do to try and counterbalance this. It looks like this push is going to be incredibly powerful. Those Lings just picking those Stalkers up as they run home. Running is not going to be an option unless you're able to blink back into your base, but by then he only had 4 Stalkers left. So this has put DreAm in a very difficult situation indeed. Well, Aurelia can probably expand and get his 4th base off of this as well, and he has got pathogen glands coming out for infestors. He's going to pop 4 or 5 infestors out now, and the 4th base does indeed immediately go down. DreAm needs to be able to do some damage right now or find a way to safely take a 3rd base, but unfortunately neither of those look like they're going to be very likely at the moment. DreAm is going to try and push out though. So he's going to see if the former option does him any good. He's going to see if he can push out onto creep. We see a changeling popping by in the middle of the map, immediately getting destroyed. That doesn't look like very convincing Zealot armor to me. And yeah, I think DreAm really has to do some damage now. Otherwise he risks being completely out macroed, because the Zerg's now on 4 bases to his 2. But he has got a very sizable death ball here. No Immortals or Colossus, but a very, very large amount of gateway units, and they are at 2 attack as well. Although here we go, a Zergling run by. Oh no, a Zealot warps in but doesn't quite wall it off, and oh dear, Aurelia gets into the main base of DreAm with a couple of Zerglings. Only 4 at the moment, and the probes are going to make mincemeat of them, but still, it's a very unwelcome distraction, because here comes the main engagement. Oh no, sick fungal going down on the Stalkers, and it looks like the Roaches are going to take all of them out. That's absolutely horrible. DreAm knows it. GG. Well played, and he leaves the game. So, Lowland Lions, Aurelia is 1-0 up in the winners bracket final against DreAm. Best of 3, so if he manages to take another game, it will be Lowland Lions Aurelia into the grand finals. On the other hand, we're going into game 2 now. Will DreAm be able to pull it back? Stay tuned.